Hi, it's JP and welcome back to Boxing Saves Lives. Now today I have two guests, I think, from Dwaynamics ABC. Now Dwaynamics is a organisation set up by a lady called Lorraine Jones, who's a pastor in London, after the death of her son Dwayne through knife crime quite several years ago. So today I'm going to have a conversation with Ash and Kels, I believe, from Dwaynamics ABC, because they're like us. They're already working on using the sport of boxing to help people through lockdown and to keep young people away from a life of crime. So he's got quite a tragic backstory to where Dwaynamics came about, but it seems like quite a bittersweet organisation, whereas they're using the power of what they know through the sport of boxing to try and help to stop this kind of thing happen again. It's a difficult time for them at the moment with everything that's going on in London, and I've seen quite a few of Lorraine's updates on Dwaynamics on Twitter and some of the things she's seen in London even in the last couple of days, and it's a really tough time for everybody. But let's see how they're using their powers of positivity as a force for good through boxing. Let's have a look. Hi Ash, hi Kels, you alright?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Not so bad. You know what, I was just introduced. I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to get Ash or I'm going to get Kels. I'm going to get both of them, but here we are. How you been doing?
You're both of us, hi.
Oh, sweet. You know what, 2 for the price of 1. I love that. So, right, so let's have a wee chat about, let's take it right back to the beginning, because I was just explaining before we came together here, just a little bit of information about my understanding of, how Dwaynamics came about through Lorraine and that. So if you want to tell people a little bit of a background for Lorraine, and then we'll move on to what you guys are doing and where your connection is to it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so through tragic circumstances, Lorraine's son Dwayne, he was killed, but he was already starting up a boxing gym. He's already starting up boxing and helping out the community.
Right.
And
he's working with the families of young people, like loads of families and young people, trying to prevent knife crimes and things from happening in the local area. And it was quite successful before, unfortunately, the tragic accident happened and he lost his life. After that, the community still needed help. They still needed the facilities that Dwayne was providing. They still needed that, and they went to Lorraine, and Lorraine, she carried on what Dwayne started, and she's done an amazing job at doing that, and she's carried on helping families and setting up the Dwayne Simpson Foundation to help families and to help the youths in the area stay off the streets, focus on something, and get off the streets, have something positive in their life with positive role models in a safe environment. And she's continued that in the way that she would think her son would wanted her to, what he was trying to achieve. She's gone out and tried to do that, and it's amazing what she's tried to do.
Inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching quite a few of Lorraine's updates through. She's really good on social media. She's incredibly honest. She talks down through the camera and explains what she's going through. She's usually doing something just as things happen, like she was a couple of days ago. And it's really it really brings home to me a lot of the stuff that you and all of us are actually seeing happening with London. And it's not exclusive to London. London doesn't have the copyright on problems. We have these problems all over the UK at the moment. And it's tough seeing those things happen. And I mean, that part I didn't quite know about was the fact that Dwayne was actually involved in boxing, before his sad passing, his tragic passing. It takes a lot for somebody to actually try and build on that after going through that grief. And it's amazing that Lorraine has actually done that.
Absolutely, yeah. She's done amazing, turned the pain into power and provided what Dwayne would have wanted for the community, for the families, and to help people. And she's providing that.
She's working with the police. She has food banks that she gives out to the community.
Yeah.
And she's
community-run projects in the area for the children to come along to. So that's set aside from the actual boxing training. She's still, whatever way she can, she's trying to have like workshops focused for the children to come to. So it's not just one place they can go to, it's different places they can go to feel safe and to get onto the streets and to help families also. And it's amazing what she's managed to build.
So tell us a little bit more, Ash and Kelly, about the area that you cover. Is it around Brixton area, or are we spreading out a lot further than that?
It's Brixton area, it's Brixton area. It's Loughborough Junction. That's where the actual gym is based. So it's already she's accomplished so much around that area, getting youth off the streets, eradicating any drug dealing that's going on in the area. You know, second time offending is its lowest that it's ever been, like pretty much. So it's working, it's doing its job, but we need to make it bigger. It needs to expand, like everything positive. It needs to just expand all over the world.
And it's funny you mention it in those terms, because we have a violence and exploitation reduction unit here in Bedfordshire that I work kind of alongside at the moment. I live in Luton. But, you know, when I spoke to a lady called Kimberly Lamb, who's head of that, she told me, you need to speak to Lorraine, you need to speak to people down at Dwaynamics ABC, you need to speak to these people because they're doing amazing work down in London. And again, even our violence reduction unit here, same kind of thing. We're trying to get in those gaps to try and get young people off the streets, away from harm, from people who do not care about them. And it's great to see that what you're doing now, and what Lorraine is doing, is that it's already starting to have an impact, because it's about putting those kids somewhere else where they can use their energies in a positive way.
Exactly. And they can aspire to be champions, find amateurs, and
Olympics.
Get into the Olympics.
Love that.
It's something to work towards, and it's not only the children and the youth that get the help. There's also support for families there. And what Lorraine wants is so people don't have to go through what she went through. She's trying to prevent that from happening, you know. So there's support for the parents, also, as well as the children. So if the parent's going through a hard time for whatever reason, there is a safe place they can go also with Lorraine and the team. Do you know what I mean? There's also somewhere they can go. So she's helping families in the community, and not just like one person, you know, she's helping everybody. And it's amazing what she's doing.
Yeah, you know what, Kels, I love that you said that, because, you know, it is about communities, isn't it? Because when you have people, especially in places like Brixton, you have people a lot of people know each other. You know, a lot of people know each other throughout, even if they're different parts. I mean, when we talk about the situation with Damalola Taylor, I remember watching about that. There was so many people living in that area who knew each other around Peckham and that, you know what I mean? And they may not, you know, just think bad things happen, but there is a community there that needs to be protected, sometimes from itself. And it's so important to keep people on board and work alongside each other, because, you know, nobody wants to repeat of what happens. It is happening, but you know what? You'd have to try and stem the flow of bad things happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, 100%. You have to start somewhere. And that's what Lorraine's continuing to do. She's continuing Dwayne's legacy of what he was doing. She's continued that on.
She's getting amazing support from the Mayor of London, England Boxing. Like, she's getting support because everyone believes in this, we're fighting for the same cause.
I love that. And you know what? I did notice from having looked at your tutorials that you're doing online, I see the poster, and I did see the support from Mayor of London. So tell me how about it came to the point where you started creating Dwaynamics ABC Digital then. How obviously there's been a few changes recently to make it happen. So how was that decision process made then?
We want to make sure, especially the youth, we want to make sure that they continue to train and not like being stuck at home. They can keep up the exercise and keep it like homework. Just be motivated to keep training, and we can delve into a lot of things on through the digital platform too, especially with lockdown now. There's a lot of things we can do with them, and it doesn't have to stop because of COVID. We're fighting against COVID.
You know, we did over the summer. I did some work alongside the Police and Crime Commissioner here in Bedfordshire, where like every week, what I would do is I would do an interview like this with somebody in boxing. So like it could be a coaches like yourselves, or boxers, or, you know, former boxers or like young people. And then on the same week, I'd have like boxing sessions. We'd have our boxer like Michelle Nelson, a coach, doing some boxing training, and also Lina Shidofia, one of our boxers, to run boxing sessions as well. So we were starting to do that during the summer. And when you popped up, it was like, yeah, I want to see what they're doing down there, because ours is more like little box fit sessions. But I love what you're doing, because I love these little boxing tutorials where you're literally going through the steps. And can I just tell you right now, Kels has got fast hands. I see them hands flying over there. Do you know what I mean? You careful, Ash.
Thank you
Careful,
very much.
pal.
She hits hard too. She hits power in the hands.
So how's it all going? How did it go about? Was it a little bit nerve-wracking getting from the start and getting in front of the camera?
A little bit, to be fair, because I'm very much I know how to box, so I'm very much I train. I like to compete. So yeah, to actually break it down and stand in front of the camera is quite tricky when you like. I've trained at kickboxing, at boxing for like years now, so to actually break it down and explain it was a little bit tricky, but yeah, it worked out, and it's actually pretty fun to do. We get quite excited doing it, and when we're finished, we're like, yeah, it's a big accomplishment to finish a video.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. Yeah, it is really fun.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. I mean, you know what? You're already getting a few subscribers coming up on YouTube. You're very good at kind of getting things out there a couple of times a day. You don't have a look at our tutorials. So you've already kind of got that sorted now. So it looks brilliant. And I did see a few videos from before about a bit of kickboxing. That, so you might know our guys from down here in Luton, from Storm Gym, do you?
Yeah,
Storm,
yeah. I've
I'm
actually
here.
competed there with the interclub down at Storms, which was really fun. Yeah, it's a great gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, as part of during the summer, I interviewed Aidan Patsalides, because you probably know Aidan, to do that. But I'm hoping to speak to Paul and Amir at some point, because I said, you know what, anything to get young people off the streets, whether it's boxing or it's MMA or it's kickboxing, I'm absolutely all for it. Just the same kind of thing, same kind of love and passion from coaches to help young people.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
What we like about the videos that we're doing, the YouTube videos, is that they're different to Zoom classes. Zoom classes are great for there and then, but also with the YouTube tutorials, kids can go back and check it again.
Yeah.
And they can relearn it, or what did they say last time, and then watch the previous video.
Yeah.
And it's always there for them, so they don't have. They could catch up like in a year's time. They can go through it and be like, oh, that's good. You know, it's always going to be there. So that's one positive thing.
Luckily, Dwaynamics are doing Zoom classes too, so they
Exactly.
can go to the YouTube videos and the Zoom classes, so they got options.
So they're still trying to provide every bit of service for the children, for the families, you know, because it's the parents are the ones that suffer when the kids got nothing to do, they're bored, they're getting a bit restless. You know, if they've got their boxing to do and the parents can watch the videos also, then they know how to help them.
Yeah,
they reckon that they pick up like certain terminology, and they've all got a handbook as well, so the parents can go through that, and we use the same terminology in the videos.
Yeah.
So the parents can pick it up as well, and then they can help their kids, and it's a little bit of bonding time as well.
Yeah.
And the kids getting their exercise, and they're mentally focused, and they're enjoying it. So it's positive, even when you are restricted to go, like you can't go out and you can't do this, you can't do that. There's always that to focus on, and kids they just love it. They really just love it.
I love this idea of a handbook. Tell me how that came about, what that's entailed then. Have you just a little bit of a little guide, is it?
Yeah, through England Boxing and Dwaynamics, they've given out handbooks to the children.
To all the children, they got loads printed up. They got given handbooks. They got given like bags to take their stuff in. There's loads of little treats. They've got T-shirts. I mean, since we've been there, they've been like 3 different types of T-shirts for the kids to all have. You know, it makes them feel involved. It makes them have, you know, that T-shirt. It's just a T-shirt to us, but that's a purpose for them. You know, they've got to wear their T-shirt when they go training because it makes them feel good, and that's what it's about. It's making them feel good. They can believe in themselves about something. They feel rewarded, and they feel, you know, and that's how champions are made. You know, they have to feel safe, comfortable, and loved, and that's what Lorraine does.
She also gave them medals.
Medals, there's award ceremonies for the children. They get medals, they get sweets, you know, and they all work really hard, so they deserve it, and it's amazing. It's really, really amazing.
And how long have you both been involved in the project then, as such? So with Lorraine, how long have you all been together?
Well, Dwaynamics ABC Digital started that in November, so it hasn't been that long, but we've got a lot of material and we want to expand it So it's going well. So
I was
yeah,
going
it
to
hasn't
say,
been that long.
yeah, you've done a lot so far.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
It's good. There's no stopping us.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? I love that energy. Even though, you know, at the moment now, it's, you know, we've got a lot of distraction at the moment, and we don't know what's going to happen next. But you've got that great energy. You're going to go, right, okay, well, you know what? What are we going to do next week? You know,
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
get the pads up again, start hammering again. Fast hands is going to be at it again. We've got to see.
Oh
It's
yeah,
brilliant. We've got to see
yeah.
that.
More of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what's the best way for people to follow you all on your social media then?
Instagram
Instagram and Twitter at the moment.
and YouTube.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe to YouTube, definitely. Yeah, our YouTube channel. We need as many subscribers as possible. And yeah, Twitter,
That's all
YouTube,
Dwaynamics
Instagram.
ABC. Is that all the titles for all of them? Yeah.
ABC Digital,
yeah.
ABC.
And follow Dwaynamics too.
And follow Dwaynamics ABC. Yeah, follow them. There's some amazing posts that Lorraine puts up and inspirational work that she's doing. Yeah. It's really good. Follow everything. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Look, I'll be covering it all and retweeting everything. And listen,
Thank you
Ash,
so much.
Kels, thanks a million for having a chat with me, because I'm learning all the time, and you know, I'm watching things going on in London. I'm looking. I'd love to bring that up here. I want to see young people, because I think we're both working towards the same end, but we're about 40 miles apart. You know what I mean? But our problems are the same wherever we are. Do you know what I mean? Or if we're here in Bedford, we're here in London, or if we're here in Northumberland, it doesn't matter. We're both working towards that thing. And I always say,
and we've all got to work together.
Yeah.
Together to achieve the same thing. Like, we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Work together, help each other out. And expand, get bigger, get knife crime, gun crime, kids off the streets, get it all to a minimum. It's the only way that it's going to do it if we all work together.
Yeah.
And I think what you said earlier, Kels, was brilliant. You know how turning pain into power. That is such a powerful statement for somebody to say.
Absolutely.
So keep up the good work, yeah?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care now.
I'm going to put this up on YouTube as well. So keep an eye in the next couple of days. I'll put a link up on YouTube, and you can watch it back and you can share it out, and we'll go from there, yeah?
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Kels. See you later, yeah? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.